Hey everybody, welcome to the Casey and Jeff show. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Kasey.
All right, we're back on Wednesdays, ladies and gentlemen. This is a show where we talk about rumors, we do our football picks, who we think are going to win, and then we end up talking about fantasy football. For those of y'all that play fantasy football, I know you guys do. Um, One thing that irks me about fantasy football is when you're watching a game, a team that you don't really like, and you got a person on their team, and they don't ever give the person the ball. Kind of irks me a lot. Kind of want to say, kind of want to get on the headset and call down to the coach and say, "Hey, I got that dude on film. You need to get him the ball." So that kind of irks me a little bit. I don't know if it irks Casey. We'll ask him.
It it does kinda, but that is interesting. He brought that up because I'm not a Cowboys fan, but I picked as Ezekiel Elliott. I was thinking that okay, since I was a two pick and Jeff was a three, I was like, if I'm gonna get Zeke, I better do it now because if I didn't, I wouldn't get him. But yeah, it's like I got mad at Dallas earlier on this year because they didn't give him the ball enough. But it's one of those things you deal with, and if I would have dropped him, Jeff would have picked him up. but
Yeah, that's true.
but yeah, it's like you do. The long story short, you do wish you could call the coach. Hey, give him the ball. I don't. Their answer is gonna be, I don't care about your fantasy football. I just care about winning. That's all I gotta say.
Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. We just get crazy sometimes. I get crazy too. We just having fun. This is all about having fun on this show. Um, we're gonna get into the rumors. Not too many. Me and Casey was talking. Ruben Foster used to be from San Francisco. He got cut from the team on Sunday right before the game. Domestic violence. He was a first round pick from Alabama. Pretty good player. You can't be hitting on these women, especially if you're a football star. I know we get stressed out, and uh, we get all jacked up from lifting weights, and some people probably still juicing. Which we call that shooting up with the drugs and all that. But we can't be hitting these women, man. That's just that don't look good. It makes you look bad. So fellas, keep your hands to yourself. If you got to hit something, you know, go outside, take a pillow outside, punch the pillow for a little bit, or
Or buy yourself a punching bag.
yeah, or get you a little squeeze toy. We just squeeze it, squeeze it hard, whatever. Um, this that was kind of crazy in the this late this season. They cut him. I guess no tolerance for that. So, you got anything to speak on the Casey or?
Nope.
All right, he said no, ladies and gentlemen. What was another rumor? Hmm. Oh yeah, Fournette. Yeah, Leonard Fournette. He's suspended for fighting. Um, the fight wasn't his, but he ran over and helped a teammate. That's good, but they still caught you going in the tunnel, still trying to beat up on this dude. So Leonard Fournette, he won't be playing this Sunday. They kind of need him against Indianapolis, but Jacksonville, they're not doing good anyway. There was a rumor that they were thinking about trading their best defensive Ramsey, the corner. I remember that now. That would be something dumb they would do. Um, I just think the defense can only do so much because the offense is letting them down. So, you want to speak on the Fournette suspension, Casey, or?
Not really. No.
Okay, he's good on that one too. So I guess we're gonna get into these picks here in a second. Another I think another rumor I heard was let me see, let me look at these teams. I think there was a coach that or office. Oh yeah, Jacksonville Jags Flyers. They fired their offensive coordinator yesterday. So yeah, fired him yesterday. So it happens, ladies and gentlemen. If your team is not good, doing good, and you're not coaching right, you should be fired. But Jason Garrett's not. So for you Cowboy fans, I know you're happy like me. We're on a 3-game winning streak, but we on this 3-game winning streak, and Jason Garrett might keep his job, might get fired. But if it was me, Jason Garrett would have to take us to the NFC Championship to not be fired. So but Jerry, you know how Jerry Jones is. So if that was me, ladies and gentlemen, he had to take us to the NFC Championship not to be fired. Another rumor, Mike McCarthy. Y'all know he's on a hot seat. He's gonna get fired probably this year. Green Bay's not doing good. They're 4-6-1. That's their record. They got a couple easy games on the way and not so easy games. So I'm seeing he might be fired. He don't get along with Aaron Rodgers. Um, some of the blame is on Aaron Rodgers too, um, because Aaron Rodgers is kind of spoiled. If ladies and gentlemen, if we want to say, because he, I'm not saying nothing bad about Aaron Rodgers, good player, and I'm not going to try to say bad about this other player because I think he's a good player too. But LeBron James and Aaron Rodgers are kind of the same. The way I saying this, and I'm gonna break it down for Kasey too, is because Aaron Rodgers throwing a fit because he don't like playing with rookies, and then LeBron James don't like playing with rookies or first timers. He's doing it for the first time with the Lakers, and Aaron Rodgers is doing it for the first time, and I could tell those two don't really like it because they like playing with some veterans, and that's why Aaron Rodgers got upset because they traded Jordy Nelson to Oakland, and it's not paying off. So, and I'm boycotting basketball. From what I'm hearing is the Lakers don't have a good record. I think they're 11-9 or whatever. So still probably can make the playoffs, but I don't think Green Bay's gonna make the playoffs. You want to talk about it, Kasey? Anything?
I think you pretty much summed it up. Is that I mean, but that's the nature, sadly, of like any time that you're a elite player for any team is you want is the mentality is we want to win and we want to win now, and so yeah, so I mean I don't condone it really. It's like the whole idea is make the players around you better, not say, okay, you're not. I don't like playing with you, so I'm gonna flush you down the toilet and then hope hope I can get something better. No, that's all I got to say about that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna get into these picks. We got some good games. Oh, the shock, yeah. Kasey was like, man, I'm tripping. I said I thought I lost my memory to him, but I'm losing my memory. I got my memory back now. I'm losing what we talked about. Oh, okay, we're gonna get into what shocked us last week. We had three games on Thanksgiving. There was a good feast on there, and we had a couple good games. So I always let Kasey go first on what shocked us, and he's gonna get into it. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
First game that shocked me was the Seahawks Panthers. I thought Russell Wilson is a good quarterback. I mean, anyone who's watched any of the Kasey and Jeff show this year knows what I think of Russell Wilson, and but I thought that Carolina had a more complete team. Well, watch out, Seattle. Seattle could be a team going to the playoffs nobody wants to play against because every single game they've played, they've either came close or they've won. Yeah, they're what 5-5, or actually they're 6-5 now. So yeah, they're a team to watch out for. But yeah, that shocked me going into Carolina and beating them. Let's see, another game that shocked me was the Steelers and Broncos. I I'm not at all shy about picking against my team if I think that my team is going to lose. But the but from what I heard in the game, the guy who got the interception was, I mean, he wasn't even supposed to be there. He was supposed to be in a different place, but it was, so that's one of those in the wrong place at the right time. He got his hands up and he got the pick. So yeah, good fortune went the Broncos' way. Hey, we'll take it. So yeah, that shocked me. Um, see, and that I'm trying to think. Is there anything else that stood out? The Browns and the Bengals. The Bengals have free fallen. I've heard, and Jeff and I were talking about it earlier. Andy Dalton's out for the season, so he's on injured reserve. So the Bengals will probably continue to tank. But yeah, that Cleveland is a team you really can't figure out. You expect them to win and they lose. You expect them to lose, they win. So that was basically it. That it for what I think. Now let's hear what shocked Jeff.
What shocked me was I had to start out with Atlanta and New Orleans. Atlanta had the ball on the goal line twice and fumbled, and New Orleans got the ball. Julio Jones fumbled. They went on the goal line. Yeah, they were at the goal line then. It was so three times. So three times they had the ball at the goal line and fumbled. Um, Atlanta, they just seem like they just can't get it right. They just went. It seemed like they should have won that Super Bowl against the Patriots, and they would have been in the driver's seat. But now we look at Atlanta, and they always say Matt Ryan is is not we thought he is. So they always put the blame on Matt Ryan because you look at it, football fans. If a team is losing, of course they're gonna put the blame on the quarterback, and then if they're winning, the quarterback get some of the happiness back, the praise, well as coach it whatever, but the quarterback gets more blame. Buffalo and Jacksonville. Jacksonville, I I picked you to win because I thought you can go up there and beat Buffalo, but oh my God, you just guys just terrible, terrible team. And you know what terrible teams what they do? They keep going down in the toilet. Um, New England and the Jets. I thought New England would blow the Jets out, but I heard this week Tom Brady was saying that he's nervous because he's getting older and he don't want to take chances throwing the ball. And they just got Gronk back, and I know they don't want to get Gronk hurt. Gronk, what he's gonna have to start doing is catching the ball and falling down. I mean, I hate to say it because there's teams out there that want to take a hit at that big guy. He's 6'6", and I think he's at least 290 something. So, I mean, uh, it seemed like a basketball player out there trying to catch a football, and he tripping over his big feet. So I would just catch it and fall down.
I would have said
Um,
something about that. Braun Strowman is more athletic than him. I mean, it's like Braun's what 6'5", 385 or something like that, and he runs like around the ring and like in shoulder tackles people like he's a linebacker. He's um he's way more athletic than Gronk. Come on, I just had to throw that out there.
another one was the Giants in Philadelphia. Philly fans, you need to send Eli early Christmas present, thanking him because he's at least going to throw you one or two interceptions. And they were beating beaten down. It was like what 17 to I want to say 6 or at a halftime, and then they stopped using Santon Barkley, start running the ball. Come on, man. If that's what's leading you, you got to keep the formula. But what do I know? I'm just the person outside watching the games. Um, I'm a penny back off of Kasey with Seattle and Carolina. What's going on in Carolina? We thought Carolina was for real. Now they just done lost 3 in a row. I think it's 3 or 4 or 3. They're 6-5 now. Um, Carolina, I don't know. It's Cam Newton. He looked in like an MVP, but now you're not looking. Your team is not looking strong. And then we're going to finish off with the Green Bay and Minnesota. Um, Aaron, like I said, with Aaron Rodgers, I just think that team. I think they just should stick a fork in it. They only good at home. They haven't won a road game yet, so they're 0-6 on the road, I believe, and they ain't gonna get no better. I mean, they're home this week against Arizona. I mean, that's a gimme game, but you never could. It's any given Sunday. But farmers believe that Green Bay should beat those guys. Now we're gonna get into the picks. We got some hot games. Um, I got two upset picks alert, and Kasey. I don't know how many he's got. I'll let him tell you real quick.
I don't really see. I don't. I got. Let's see. I'm trying to think here. No, that's not really. I don't really have what I would call upset picks because I mean yeah I'm pretty much going like I look at each team like they're like they're equal as far as like with the exception of the Patriots and the Saints. Well, yeah, the Saints and the Cowboys. Actually, that for me is gonna be an upset pick. I will we'll get into that here in a minute. But yeah, the so yeah, I got one what you would call an upset pick.
All right, he's got one, ladies and gentlemen. I got two. The second one, I don't know if it'll be an upset pick, but as far as all their injuries, both teams is really coming in the game battered and bruised. I figure it would be an upset pick. And we're going to get it started. We got the New Orleans and Dallas. This game has been hyped up. Dallas has been doing a lot of talking. Jerry Jones just said the other day, they need to treat this game like the Super Bowl. Dallas defense saying they're not scared of the Saints. They said if you put pressure on the Saints, they can they won't score 50 because the Saints has been blowing people out. Guys, Saints been. But Casey, we got Dallas and we got New Orleans down in the Big D. Should be a blast tomorrow night. Who you got?
My first hunch was New Orleans, but as I started to break this game down, it has way too many similarities to that of Pittsburgh and Denver last week. You think, oh, okay, Pittsburgh should just go to Mile High, and they should just walk all over the Broncos because they had a better offense. Their defense was solid. Case Keenum is nothing really to write home about. So you thought, okay, that's gonna be a foregone conclusion. But you look at Denver ended up winning that game. This game's the same situation. You got Drew Brees who's riding high. You got an offense that's very explosive. Um, then I one of the lines I saw, Jeff, was one of the Cowboys defenders was saying that they haven't their offensive line hasn't faced a defense like us yet. Yes, you're right, they haven't. Um, and defense is going to be the key for this game. If uh, if the Cowboys can get pressure on Drew Brees and they can get at least one or two turnovers by halftime, they will have this game. And of course, they can't try to get into a shootout with Brees. You got the league's best running back right now in your backfield. Pound him. You just keep giving him the ball. Feed the way Jeff calls it, feed the beast the ball. I'm gonna say this is my upset pick. Dallas beats New Orleans. I'm gonna say like 31-24.
Mm. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my upset pick too. I got Dallas. I just think all great things come to an end. New Orleans hasn't lost since the first game of the season, and that was against Tampa Bay, and they've
At
been on a
home.
roll at home. And they're coming into a game where this team has been on a 3 game win streak, and I know the 3 game win streak it has been against teams that's not really doing good this year. Um, Philly, Atlanta, and Washington. Washington was doing good, but they losing all the assets of good players, and they getting bad now. But I just think Dallas can take this game, and I want to see a lot of this with Zeke. And I know Kasey wants to see a lot of that for his fantasy. Um, I just think Dallas can control the time clock, keep Drew Brees on the sideline. Another thing I told Casey, Dallas, Jason Garrett's going to have to outcoach Sean Payton. I mean, you got to be smarter. If Jason Garrett and Sean Linehan, the offensive coordinator, can call a good game, two brains are better than one. If they can outsmart Sean Payton, because I will tell you this, guys, before we get into the next pick, I think Sean Payton could be Dallas' next coach. Whenever Drew Brees retires, I think Sean Payton will be in Dallas because he lives in Dallas, and Jerry Jones been trying to get him, but I just think he has a marriage. I'm not, saying like that, but a marriage with Drew Brees, and once the marriage divorce, Drew Brees retire, I think Sean Payton make his way to Dallas. We hoping that hoping that soon. But the way football is, these quarterbacks might be playing till they 50 because you got to put a pillow down to sack them before you touch them. So I got Dallas. So me and Casey, that's what our upset pick is Dallas. Then we got Arizona at Green Bay. Both of these teams don't look good. Green Bay's been undefeated at home, and Arizona, they can either bite you or pinch you. Mostly they've been pinching. So, Casey, man, who you got in this game? The Cheeseheads or the Rattlesnakes?
I got Green Bay in this game. Arizona, I think the games that they've played at home. Actually, I think they beat San Francisco in San Francisco, but I think the games that they've played at home are usually the games they come out and bite you. Otherwise, they just pinch you. Which you pinch a monster, that's just gonna make them mad. So yeah, I think Green Bay wins this game pretty handily.
I got the Cheeseheads too. They're at home. Um, they still don't make things right in Green Bay. They still salty. Uh, they might have some trouble with Arizona. You may never know. But I still think Green Bay will win this game. Should probably be a close one. But Aaron Rodgers is taking on a rookie quarterback, so the rookie's gonna make some mistakes. Then we got a good one for you. We got Baltimore at Atlanta. Atlanta's looking for a win. Atlanta's they on a 3 game losing streak, I believe. I think the last team they beat was no Cleveland beat them. The last team they beat was Washington, and that was week 9. So they're on a one, two, three. They're on a 3 game losing streak, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on with those Dirty Birds? So it's the Dirty Birds versus the Baltimore Ravens. So we got two birds versus there. You got the Ravens and the Dirty Birds. Who gonna get this, Casey? Who you got?
I think the Ravens just because of their defense. Um, I still think no. I would not be at all surprised if the Falcons pull this one out because Matt Ryan is still he's not overrated. He's just this year he's just had a bunch of unfortunate breaks as far as games that just he they should have won if they didn't. And so I think I'm picking Baltimore, but I would not be at all surprised if Atlanta won.
I'm going Atlanta in this game. They need a win. I think Atlanta got too much firepower on their offense, and then plus Baltimore starting a rookie. Um, this might be the game where they want to put Joe Flacco back in, even though he's not that good, and Lamar Jackson's bringing a lot of a lot of that run Michael Vick style to back into the NFL. So I got Atlanta. Um, then we got Buffalo and Miami division game. Two teams coming off. Um, Buffalo's coming off a win, but Miami's coming off a heartbreak loss. Um, Man, Casey, who you got? You got those Buffaloes, or you got that fun under the sun, Miami Beach?
You might want to plug your ears for this, guys. I got the Dolphins. I do a horrible impersonation
Flipper.
of Flipper or the Dolphins, but the last I checked, Buffalo the Bills can't swim, and I think the Dolphins win this game. Too much. I think I just think their defense at home is good, and I don't. Yeah, Buffalo's been inconsistent.
Mhm. So you got
So
Miami.
I got Miami. Yep.
All right, he's got Miami. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going with Miami too. Too much fun under the sun. I think Miami, they would be good this year. They just, some heartbreak losses. They got a pretty good, nice, decent defense. I seen them play one time this year, um, and I think Miami was going to take them out. Now we got Carolina and Tampa Bay. We got two teams that's really struggling. Well, we got one team that's really struggling, and one team that's just I don't know what happened to them. They were doing so good, and now they're just struggling. So we got Carolina at Tampa Bay. This is the division game too. So man, Casey, man, who you got, man?
I got Carolina in this one. I think their heartbreak loss against Seattle last week is going to kind of carry over, and they're going to be a little bit mad. And I think Fitzpatrick is who's even starting in this? Is it Fitzpatrick or is it Winston? Are they going back to Winston?
They went back to Winston.
They change quarterbacks more than I change my underwear. But anyway, it's hard to figure it out. But yeah, Jameis Winston had a good game, but I think Carolina is going to figure them out. They're not Carolina is much better than the 49ers. So I got Carolina.
I'm going Carolina too. I just think this is a game where Carolina could get back on track. Um, let's give shout outs to Carolina's running back. He had
He had a monster game.
over 100 yards rushing and
And
receiving.
receiving, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, and they still lost. That's just it don't make no sense though. But um,
And Jameis Winston or Ryan Fitzpatrick is not as good as Russell.
no, they're not. They're not. So I got Carolina too, ladies and gentlemen. I agree with Casey. Now, our next game is we got those monsters of the Midway, man. The Bears looking real good against the Giants. Uh, the Giants really got into bad shape last game against Philly, and Odell Beckham said it's time for them to run the table, but they didn't run the table. Eli Manning put it on his chips, and he lost. So Chicago at the Giants, Casey, man, who you got?
And run the table against the Bears defense. To piggyback on the comment Jeff had about the Eagles fans sending Eli an early Christmas present because Eli's going to throw one or two interceptions. Well, he might throw one or two interceptions in the first quarter against the Bears. So because you got the Bears pass rush coming at you, you got a good secondary. I I'm just saying it's not looking good, Giants. I think Bears are going to win this one pretty handily.
I'm going Bears too. I think the Bears got the defense. Even with a backup on Thursday, they still won. Um, I just think the Giants not a really good team this year. They I'm seeing them picking a quarterback in the first game. I mean, in their draft, in their first draft pick, they're going to pick a quarterback. So Eli, your days might be numbered. Um, then we got a Cleveland coming in facing a hot team, the Houston Texans. Houston Texans on a 7-game win streak, ladies and gentlemen. This could be 8 games. Yep. Um, Kasey, man, who you got? You got those dirty those the brownies, or you got them the one of the hottest teams in Texas right now, Houston.
I like Baker Mayfield from the Browns. Actually, is he even not starting, or is
He's
he?
been starting.
Yeah, he's been starting. I thought I
Mm-hmm.
was hearing he was injured, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. Maybe that's another team. But or maybe it was just a dream. I hope
Mm-hmm.
I hope doesn't come true. But anyway, I like Baker Mayfield, but the Texans have been playing. They've been riding high. Their defense is clicking. Their offense is solid. I uh, I don't see Cleveland going into Houston and winning that game. I got the Texans.
I got the Texans too. They're winning their 8th game. Deshaun Watson, man, he's been the beast. Everybody, the defense has been stepping up. The receivers, even Lamar Miller, the running back, he's been stepping up. Um, Kudos to Houston. Plus, I know they played that game Monday because their owner died, so their pride was on the line on that Monday. So um, I got Houston too, ladies and gentlemen. Bring Cleveland back to earth. Um, then we got Denver coming off a big win off of the Steelers. They're going against Cincinnati. I don't know what's going on in Cincinnati, Joe. I think uh, I think their coach is going to be fired at the end of this year. Marvin Lewis. I think Marvin Lewis's job is just um, there for the taking. Whoever wants it. If it was Josh McDaniels from New England or somebody coming off a offensive coordinator coming off a team to coach, or they get one of these college coaches, I think Marvin Lewis is gonna get fired. Man, Kasey, who you got? Denver and Cincinnati. Man, got Broncos and we got Tigers. Oh my.
Threw his head off for a
Yeah,
minute.
I had to laugh at him. Broncos versus Tigers, but no. If this game was earlier in the year, I would have said Cincinnati because Denver, with Andy Dalton was playing lights out. They were a hard team to beat. Now the wheels of the Bengals bus is falling off, and Denver. Need I say they're starting to pick it to like get it together? Will they go to the playoffs, ladies and gentlemen? I wouldn't go that far yet. This is just Cincinnati. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But I do think Denver wins this game.
Now, if this was really, really real life, where you put a Bronco in there with a Bengal tiger, the Bengal would tear the Bronco up.
If you could catch them.
Yeah, but these two these two teams is fighting. One is fighting to quit drowning. The other one is got their head peekabooing out of water a little bit. So I'm going Denver. I think Denver will beat them. Denver's got a run game, and the defense is playing good. And all Case Keenum had to do was manage the game. So I got Denver, thinking Denver will take them. So, um, and we got another division game. We got a lot of division games. Um, we got Indianapolis. They coming in hard. I think they done won four in a row, and they're going against Jacksonville. Jacksonville just really struggling everybody, and they lost Leonard Fournette um, for this game. Even though they got Carlos Hyde and T.J. Yeldon, the run game still ain't been looking good. So man, Casey, who you got in this AFC South race coming up?
It's weird. The Colts are where a lot of people thought the Jaguars would be at this point in the year. They are, what are they? What 6-5? Are they fighting for a? I mean, they're.
I think they're 6-5. The Indianapolis coach now.
So yeah, they're in the playoff spot, and the Jaguars are reeling. Who would have thought? Um, and without Leonard Fournette, they the Jaguars probably have a little bit better defense, but Andrew Luck, comeback player of the year. I got Indianapolis winning this one in a close one, probably like 24-20.
Mm-mm.
I got Indianapolis winning this one too. Jaguars just, oh my god, I don't know. They can buy a break, and this might be on coach and staff. It could be up in the owners. Um, it's on somebody. Maybe Blake Bortles or what. It's on somebody, but I got the Colts, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I got to say. That team, Jacksonville, used to be called Saxonville. Now it's just, I don't know whatville. So, um, no, we got this game. They moved this game to Sunday night. But I guess we'll just talk about it now. It's the LA Chargers versus Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh coming off a heartbreak loss. Big Ben on the year, he has 12 interceptions. Um, and Juju's getting all the balls, so um, Antonio Brown ain't gonna be too happy about that. Um, and then I think they need Le'Veon Bell, but this is gonna be a heavyweight fight. So um, not Cincinnati. The Chargers are without Melvin Gordon because I think he tore his MCL, so he might be out 2 games or just this
Only
game.
two.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad, but he wasn't supposed to play anyway this Sunday, and he ended up playing because he said he had like a hamstring or something. But man, Casey, who you got? It's gonna be a tough one. Seattle. I mean, the Rams at not the Rams, the Chargers at the Steelers. Who you got?
We're trying to get ahead of ourselves here, but no, I got Pittsburgh in this one. I think even though I think Philip Rivers has been playing really good this year, there's no question about it. Um, he's he's back to what everyone thought he would be. They're what 8-3 this year? Or are they no? Are they
7-2.
seven? Or are they 7-4? Oh yeah, that's right. Well, they lost three because I think they lost to
Yeah.
Denver, and then they destroyed the Arizona Cardinals. So yeah, they're in the playoff position solidly. This could, dare I say, if the playoff started today, this would be a wild card preview. Um, but Pittsburgh is a better team at home. That's the reason why I picked Pittsburgh. If this game was in LA, I probably would have picked the Chargers because it's just very evenly matched. And I think Big Ben will right the shift this week. I think it'll be maybe 34-31 Steelers.
I'm going Steelers too. I just think without Melvin Gorman, that's going to be a challenge for them. I know they got his backup is pretty good, but I think just without Melvin Gorman, and like Casey said, Chargers have been playing very well, played defense very well. They got Bosa back, but just think Steelers at home, and they shouldn't have lost to Denver, and it's probably licking their chops right now. We need to get back. So this do feel like a playoff game, and it could be one of the playoff matchups. So we never know. But we'll see what happens. I got Steelers though, even though I don't like Steelers. Um, Now we got the Rams and Detroit. Detroit coming off a heartbreak loss against Chicago, and the Rams coming off of a bye. So the Rams is all fresh. So Casey, man, who you got?
And need I say they're also coming off of their last game was their offensive game of the year when they scored 54 on the Chiefs, where the Chiefs scored 51. But I don't think this game's going to be that high scoring. But I do think the Rams got too many weapons for the Lions. I got the L.A. Rams.
I got the Rams too. I just think Rams with Gurley and Brooks and all those guys. The defense not been playing that well, but they still got Aaron Donald, man, the sack leader. I think he's got 14 sacks on the year. The boogeyman coming for you. So get ready, Matt Stafford. I got the Rams. Then we got another division game. First time these two played against each other. We got Kansas City at Oakland. Kansas City is coming off a bye, and then Oakland's coming off they lost to Baltimore. They got so happy and threw a parade because they won in Week 11 against Arizona, and now the tears starting to flow down their eyes at the loss. Now they got Kansas City, and Kansas City coming off a bye, getting healthy, and Pat Mahomes maybe score 50 on them. We don't know, but we're gonna ask Casey first what he think. Who you got?
I got the Chiefs in this one. I think it's maybe I mentioned it last week, maybe I didn't, but it's nice for Patrick Mahomes to have the luxury of being able to throw the ball away and have someone as fast as Tyreek Hill to go and get it. So throwaway could end up being a touchdown. So yeah, I think we've seen a lot of classic games between the Chiefs and the Raiders. I don't think this is going to be one of them. I have the Chiefs beating the Raiders pretty handily.
I got the Chiefs too. I think they'll beat the Raiders. Usually these games used to be fun to watch. Now since Oakland is terrible, it's not fun. I'm neither one of their fans, but like I said, it used to be fun to watch. Excuse me. But I think the Chiefs will pull it out, ladies and gentlemen. They might score even 50 points or 40 or whatever. We'll have to see. The next game we got, ladies and gentlemen, we got the Jets at Tennessee, both coming off sad losses, and both need a win bad. Who you think is going to get the win, KC?
Titans. Jets offense has been too inconsistent. Their defense is solid, but the Titans have got a pretty solid defense, and Mariota has been playing pretty solid too. So I think I got the Titans winning this one at home.
I'm going Titans too, ladies and gentlemen. I just think both of these teams need a win bad, and it's just like who's the best job, who does the best in a job interview. So I'm guessing the Titans going to do the best in the job interview because the Jets seem like they don't want the job. But I'm going Titans. Then we got a good one. We got Minnesota at New England. Both teams coming off a win. Tom Brady talking about he getting old, ain't taking chances like he used to. Man, Casey, who you got? You got the old man, or you got your first cousins, Kirk Cousins?
Jeff, I don't get to do this very often, but Jeff, say what?
What?
But no, Minnesota's got a better defense, and Kirk Cousins played pretty solid for his first year in Minnesota. They're still in the playoff hunt. I think they will probably make the playoffs, but I'm not sure. It's like, I mean, there's a lot of things that need to unfold for the rest of the way, or that could. But on the other side, you still got TB12. Yeah, I think sometimes he plays the media, so that way they're like, oh, he's not gonna take any chances. And the next thing you know, he throws an 80-yard bomb and says, I gotcha.
Hmm.
He does that. Like, just take the AFC Championship game last year. Oh, he might be injured. He might not be able to play. Yeah, okay. But I got the Patriots in this one. You really can't go against New England at home.
I got the Patriots too, because I don't believe in first cousin. And I mean Kirk Cousins. I don't believe in first cousin. Um, um, do I see Minnesota putting pressure on? Yeah, I do, but it's in New England, and Tom Brady barely loses in New England, and Minnesota, I don't want to say they barely beat the Green Bay, but they did. But I'm going New England. So then we got another division matchup. Pretty much, who cares about it? San Francisco at Seattle. It was supposed to be the Sunday night, but that game don't look too good, so they moved it. So, Casey, man, who you got? You got those 49ers, or you got those pesky Seattle?
I got the touchdown Seahawks. No, I think Seattle's going to win this game. 49ers fans better get used to hearing that, because I think Russell Wilson had his best stat game last week when he had to against Carolina. I'm needless to say, even though I brag on Russell every week, I am shocked Seattle is 6-5. I thought they'd be somewhere around like 5-6 or 4-7, but they've been a lot more competitive up to this point. So yeah, props to Seattle. As long as you have Russell Wilson, you got a chance to win. I got Seattle in this one. I don't think it's gonna be that close.
I got Seattle too. I think Seattle's going to beat the 49ers. Did the 49ers play last week? Yeah, they lost to Tampa Bay. You just thought San Francisco, they would win a couple of games here and there, but not really. So, yeah, I think Seattle, Russell Wilson, yeah, will win.
I just caught something. You're gonna laugh. It looks like the Buccaneers and the Seahawks traded places, because the Panthers played the Seahawks last week. The 49ers played the Buccaneers. This week the 49ers play the Seahawks, and the Panthers play the Buccaneers. So that's why I was laughing.
Oh man, Sonny.
The next game, at first I didn't really care about, but now I kind of do, because they both in the division. Somebody has to win. This could be my next upset pick. Both teams coming in this game battered and bruised, and on their backups and on their backups. That's kind of messed up, on your backups. So it's like having 4 or 5 or 6 stunt devils, and you're on your 6th stunt devil because the rest of them got hurt. But we got Washington at Philly. This game means a lot this because if you look at it, Philly can go 7-5, 7-5, and if Dallas lose, Dallas can be 6-6. Now, if Philly win, Philly can go 6-5 or 6-6 and be tied with Dallas if Dallas lose. So you have to really look at this because next week it's gonna be on the line when Philly comes to Dallas next week. So we got Washington at Philly. We got Colt McCoy at Carson Wentz. Kasey, who you got?
Philly. I think. Well, they'll be cooking. Their cooking may be off, but yeah. The thing is the Redskins would need for Adrian Peterson to have a good game. He's had 2 or 3 good games all year. Talking about, oh, I'm gonna have another 1,000-yard rushing season, whatever he said. Well, he's he's dropped off big time, and I think Philly gets this win and goes and gets back to 500.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is my upset pick. I'm going Washington. I got a feeling Washington, they done lost their last 2 games. I'm guessing. Let me look at their schedule. They beat Tampa Bay. Did they beat Tampa Bay? Tampa Bay beat them. I think they beat Tampa Bay. And then Washington. They lost to Houston, and they lost to Dallas. Yeah, I think they're on a 2-game losing streak. Yeah, they're on a 2-game losing streak, and I really kind of need them to win this game because if they win this game, then that Philly game, Philly would probably be out the playoffs because they done lost 7 games. But 9-7 can win this division. So, but I just think Philly's schedule's too hard to win the division. But I'm going Washington, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to George Washington, the back of the corridor, Washington. So that's our picks. On fantasy football, it's me versus Kasey. It's Curse One versus Vipers. It's Killer Kasey versus Chiefs Kingdom. All should be good games. All mean something. I'm guessing me and Kasey playing for either second place or third place, and Chiefs Kingdom and Killer Kasey playing for first place on that one, and then Curse One of Vipers just playing to stay alive. So no disrespect, but those guys you got to watch out because they're pretty sneaky still. They'll beat you, so you can't just go into a game saying you're gonna beat them just because of their record. But that's good on the fantasy. Good luck. Another thing is that we'll be back next Wednesday. Hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving. I'm out. Deuces. Peace. And Kasey's going to give you the last word. All right, y'all.
Okay. Little business to take care of as far as our fantasy football pick, not fantasy football picks, but as far as our picks go this year, you're looking at right now. I'm sitting at 112, 62, and 2. And Jeff is sitting at 105, 69, and 2. So I've got a 7 pick lead, which we're getting back to our groove because this is right around where we usually are. We're usually around 60% win percentage, both of us, which is a wild card spot in football. But so yeah, so that's that. Number two is right now I was thinking about the fantasy football. It's right now it's 1 versus 2, 3 versus 4, and 5 versus 6. And right now I think I've split the season series with Jeff.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be the rubber match.
Mm-hmm.
Braun Strowman versus the game. But anyway, I had to throw that out because the game's gonna get these heads. But no, it's gonna be good. I hope that that's a championship game preview. But I know Chiefs Kingdom, Killer Kasey, Vipers, and Cursed One have a lot to say about that. But it's what we've been talking about. That's what we want the championship game to be for years, but it hasn't happened yet. But lastly, and the most important thing is we encourage your feedback, and we encourage you watch our show and give comments on our page, which is what Kasey and Jeff show on YouTube. Or Jeff and Kasey show. Was it Kasey and Jeff or Jeff and Kasey?
Kasey and Jeff show.
It's Kasey and Jeff show. It's not it's the and sign. So yeah, so leave comments, but be respectful, because the thing about picks is they can be right or they can be wrong, and it's so we really won't know until the games start, or until the games are over, really, who was right and who was wrong. So I hope you enjoyed the show. God bless, and have a good week.
All right.